Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Hey, what's going on, family? This is Ty for No Picks Podcast.
What's up, family? This is Joe, No Picks Podcast.
Heather here checking in, No Picks Podcast.
Welcome back, Heather.
Thank you. It ain't no more of that. Ain't no more of that. We passed that.
Right?
We passed that.
All right, so check this out. We got to talk about the Trump conviction, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up a clip and let the news do their thing, and we're gonna react to it.
Okay.
All right.
This is crazy.
Yeah, we all know Pennsylvania is a swing state for sure, and Trump's legal woes have been a polarizing debate for many voters. And tonight we went out to hear from people in the Delaware Valley about their thoughts on Trump's guilty verdict.
I'm just totally shocked. I can't imagine even what happens next. It's amazing. I started crying when I heard it.
An emotional reaction from people in Philadelphia, finding out Donald Trump was found guilty on 34 counts of falsifying business records, the first U.S. president to be criminally convicted of a crime.
He did a lot of wrong things, and he deserved most likely to be guilty. The jury found him guilty, and they're his peers, and so it's not shocking to me. So I was glad to hear it.
Not surprised. They'll do anything to stop him from running. They know he'll win. They know he'll do a better job, and that's it.
I'm really shocked and surprised. But now I'm thinking, like, what's going to happen with him running for president?
Even with the guilty verdict, Trump can still run for president and travel around the country to campaign. But the big question is, how will Americans vote November 5th?
Talk with a lot of my friends, a lot of Americans, and a lot of people pretty much have their mind made up. So I don't think it's going to sway it.
Sentencing for Trump is scheduled for July 11th. Criminal defense attorney Enrique Latoyson is not associated with the case, but gives his thoughts on Trump's sentencing.
And in Donald Trump's favor, he has no prior criminal record. So at his age with no prior criminal record, that plays a huge part on what your sentencing guidelines are.
And tonight, NBC 10 has learned from an RNC spokesperson that the Trump campaign is planning to open an office in Philadelphia on Tuesday. In the studio, Johnny Archer, NBC 10 News.
All right. So I wanted to play that clip first, right? Just get some initial reactions. And then I wanted to play another clip from TikTok and just give it a little bit more context of how Americans are responding to this guilty verdict or whatever. So I'll start with the resident Trump supporter, Heather. What's on your mind, Heather? What's on your mind?
Our next president's going to be a convicted felon, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I think it was a huge flex for him to go in there and put a home, a land, like what do you call it? The voting thing. What did you say is putting in Philadelphia?
Like an office, like a
campaign office. That's a flex. That's a flex to go ahead. And I didn't understand the lady. Was she surprised in a good way or a bad way? I was kind of misled with her initial reaction. I don't know if she was leaning on his side or not. Didn't really tell us, but however, I'm all for it. Our next president's going to be a convicted felon. And you know what? This opens the fucking door for so many of us.
Yeah. Us.
Yeah. So I speak for that. Yes. Being a convicted, listen, you can be a president. Listen, you feel me? Like, but you can't tell me shit. Tell me shit. I don't want to ever hear nobody tell me you can't get a job with your family, but you become a president, okay?
President, yeah, right.
Right. Shit on that. That's my 2 pennies.
I'm gonna piggyback off that and say, like, he could actually run with that and be like, listen, I resonate with people who have records. I resonate with the people who've been in prison or falsely accused. We got a corrupt justice system. Like, he could legit use this as a kind of campaign marketing tool. Like, and what's crazy is after they said he had like 34 counts and he was convicted of it, like, the money started pouring into his campaign. People were like individually, like all the donors were like giving his money campaigns. I'm guessing they want to cover some of his legal fees or just to flex and be like, no, we're still voting for him. You know what I mean? So this just emboldened his base. I knew it was going to happen. If they convicted him, he was going to become a martyr. So my initial thought is, Trump he created a situation where he just couldn't lose in this environment. Like, he just can't. Trump can't lose. He's still winning even after these 34 counts of financial fraud or whatever they said what it was. But that's my initial thought. So Ty, where are you at? Like, how did you think about it?
I mean, it doesn't matter to me. It's like, listen, they could put a ham sandwich on the damn ballot as a Republican, and I'm probably gonna vote for it. Like, I'm not.
I know that's right.
So,
what I'm talking about.
Like I said, my shit is like anti-Democrat vote. So it's like, I don't really care. They could put a cat, call it a zer. I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, I'm gonna be like, all right, cool. Like, I'm gonna vote for it. But I will say this though. I will say this. Like, it's something that like kind of ruffles my feather with this whole Trump being a convicted fella thing. Is like, first of all, it did seem like a witch hunt, right? But I'm not trying to like. I'm gonna take that out. For me, it's like when people are like, when the Republicans are like, oh well, he identifies more with black male voters because he's a felon, and I'm like, come on, bro. Like, I'm like,
I see. I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that. I don't see that.
I've heard that argument being made. Like, listen, black people, a lot of black males feel like the justice system is against them, and a lot of them identify with Trump because of it, bro. But black people who support him are embracing that shit. They like photoshopping his face with like thug life tattoos on shirts and stuff like that. So I'm like, yo, listen, that's kind of like a slap in the face to people or whatever, right? Like, it's kind of slap in the face. I mean, like, okay, we're felons, so like we were victimized by the system just like you. I'm like, bro, like that's not. I'm voting for you for a different reason. I'm not voting for you because of this system. Right. Because I'm like, I just feel so victimized by the system. Like, I'm not like that's not where I take it. But listen.
But that's a similar mindset to those who voted for Obama because he was black.
Right. That too.
I was also one of those. I was one of those. I was like,
really do much
right. That's why I think I heard you say that once before. That's why I said it.
Yeah, that's facts.
So,
well, you want to play the other part?
But I'm glad you changed. See, there's room for growth, right? There's room for growth. That was my point. There's room for growth.
He's evolving like a Pokemon and shit, right? So,
right.
All right. So I'm gonna play the second part to it, and then we can,
all right.
Make some magic happen.
Fucking Trump. About to be Trump. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
He gonna say something stupid. I know he did.
The last 24 hours, Trump has raised a staggering $52.8 million. Joining me now, former Arkansas Gov. Mike Huckabee and Matt Tower, political analyst and pollster. Governor, for some perspective here, in 24 hours, Trump raised more than Biden did all last month.
Oh my God.
Awake a sleeping giant here.
They really did, and that's what I've been saying for the past 24 hours. They got what they wanted, but they are not going to want what they got. It has been a big...
The last 24 hours, Trump has raised a...
So, a little bit...
I didn't even know it was that much, bro. I didn't
know it was even happening. I didn't know it was happening. I didn't know that was even a thing.
All right, so I got to say this, right, because there's a precedent for this, right? And this is why I got to say this. So we should still be, not we, because I'm not voting for Trump or Biden. Y'all already know I'm not. So, but in this conversation, what I can say is we need to be careful because look at what the Democrat Party did to their own candidates. Look at what they did to Bernie. Bernie broke records for the most individual donors. Bernie out-earned everyone as far as individual donor contributions to his campaign, broke records, you know what I mean? Like, and everything he did, they funded his campaign. It was a grassroots movement. And even when the people were saying this is where our money is, this is who we want for the Democratic Party nominee, the DNC shafted him and still took it up from under him and rigged it twice.
True.
Rigged it twice. Both times he ran, they rigged it, right? So what I'm saying is there's energy behind Trump, but in my mind, I'm like, there's a precedent, y'all. Be careful. Let's not, try to think like it's in the bag yet, because they could still do some kind of finessing and
like they did last election and steal it. Yeah, you're right.
That's what expand on that. Do you really think that they stole the last election?
I mean, you just described what they're about to do or could do this time.
Right, I can't even defend them because they've done this kind of.
Yes, I believe that
before.
Right, that's what you just said. So you believe it too. I know you do. I just heard it out of your mouth.
It's in the realm of possibility. You're right. There's so much corruption in the Democratic Party and in all of U.S. politics, honestly. But like,
right.
Democrats,
but it's evident. Like it's like here it is in your face. Right.
It's so blatant. So I think about this and I'm hype and I'm like, yeah, Trump's base is charged up. But what I'm saying is, Democrats could still do some finessing in the background. You know what I mean? So I don't know what to expect yet.
Right.
But so that's crazy.
There's still room for you on this side.
I mean, I can't do it, man.
Not yet. All right, we got till November, Ty. We got till November.
So what do you think, Heather?
We got till November.
Heather, what do you think of them raising this kind of money in 48 hours after his conviction?
I think it just goes to show the power behind the voice, right? And the logic behind the actual where Americans really truly stand. And if America stands for what it says it stands for, they will hear the people and recognize what they want. And if not, then it will go to show the level of corruption within, because I mean that's just where we're at. It's a blatant reality.
Right. That's so true. That's so true.
I already said this, but it doesn't matter who is on a Republican ticket for me this year. I'm definitely voting Republican. I don't care. But
be it Trump or ham sandwich, we here for the win.
Yeah. But it did kind of blow my mind to hear that he raised that kind of money in that amount of time.
That's short. Yeah, man.
I also kind of don't understand why people give money to politicians like that, like already rich people. Why are people giving some money to already rich people? I don't get it. I mean, people did the same thing to all the other politicians, but I still be like, I ain't doing it. So
it makes you feel invested, bro. I mean, have you ever? And I probably know the answer to this, but like, have you ever done canvassing for a candidate that you really admired and wanted to promote it? I've done canvassing, you know what I mean? So like it makes you feel more I've done phone banking. I've called people to see if they were registered. I've called people to see who they're going to I've promoted my candidate. So I've done a little bit of that, not too much, but I did some of it, and you just feel invested, bro. Like when you have a candidate that you're excited about, it doesn't feel like work. You're just stoked to just get out there and get the message out and get people hyped. So So even donations, I donated to Bernie twice. You know, I did my little $24 donation. I did it twice.
You're so cute.
Bernie Bro Joe, that's the nickname I've been given by somebody in the comments. Bernie Bro Joe. I'm not a legit Bernie Bro Joe, but I did support Bernie. But I'm just saying, like, you get energized when you find that candidate, right? So, and my thing is be careful, because Heather said we the people. But as you guys know, in our government, more often than not, what the people want doesn't translate into policy.
Correct.
And whatever candidate the people want and put their money behind, once again, they can still shaft them out of the election. And that's what's so frustrating, because the Democrats are so corrupt that even Trump being accused of like 34 counts of financial fraud, people are just like, I don't care. Y'all, there's so much corruption in Washington. How is this any different? Like, how is this any different from from the Hunter Biden laptop, from one of the presidents getting dome in the White House? Like, there's always some kind of scandal, the Clinton Foundation. Like, how is this
Heather
any
and Joe,
different?
let me ask y'all something. Do y'all care that Joe got? I mean, not Joe. Y'all care that Trump got a blowjob from Stormy Daniels? Like, do y'all care?
No, I don't care.
I really don't.
Get another one.
Get another one, bro. Like,
I don't give a shit what
get
you
another
do.
one, bro.
I still believe in your policies, bro. As long as my money right, my bank account long, we Gucci. We're good. We're good.
Actually, no. He gets points for me on that one. I'm like, bro, I ain't mad at
Right. And then Pater, like, bro, she should have just kept that money and kept quiet. Like, what are we? I mean, I don't know much about it, but I know that's part of that scandal thing. Like, get another one.
I assume
Get another
that that's what all those politicians do. Those other ones just didn't get caught.
Right, exactly. Or have somebody talk about it. Yeah.
We know this. There was a Senate committee where they had business trips, and there were politicians flying to different states, and they were all caught up in documents and emails showing that they were going to hostels or prostitution rigs. Like, they were out there just hiring sex workers. So they do this, and why it's not uncommon. This is what they do.
Even in Hollywood too. Like, I mean, you but once you assume that position, you have to know your role, and the person who's picking you for that role needs to know that you understand that role. Like when they slip up and they pick somebody who doesn't understand their role, or emotions and all the things get intertwined, well, then that's when you start to becoming having a problem. So
I was watching.
That's that world.
I was watching an interview with Bill O'Reilly. Y'all all remember Bill O'Reilly, right? I was watching an interview with Bill O'Reilly.
Yep.
And he was saying that it would be a good idea for Biden to Trump got convicted, right? It would be a good idea for Biden to what's the term that the presidents do to get somebody off, like get out of jail and shit, like erase their criminal record? Pardon.
Impeach?
Exonerate.
Exonerated.
So it would be a good idea for Biden to pardon Trump and then pardon his own son. So I thought, and they were like, Bill O'Reilly was basically like, it would throw the kind of like the political world and like just in upheaval, because
because then it basically means there's it's you can't do something like that though, because you got to understand. I mean, we know that the law isn't applied equally, right? We already know that if the wealthier you are or the deeper you are in Washington, some things just don't. They call it affluenza. You know what I mean? When you're so rich that the laws just don't really apply to you. And if they did that, that would just be a blatant case of like, oh, okay, so politicians can just pardon their kids.
But all the powerful people would shut the fuck up because Because first, the Republicans will get what they want by Trump being exonerated, right? And pardoned for all his crimes. And then if you do the same thing with Hunter Biden or whatever the fuck he got accused of, and exonerate, pardon his shit, the Democrats will have to shut the fuck up. So then it's like, who do you have in the political realm that's going to talk about this shit?
Right. Yeah.
But then you should. I mean, I would expect like that's that's like comparing apples and oranges, and I would expect the world, or not the world, but the United States to have like a real problem with Hunter Biden's pardon. Like, who the hell is he? He's just like some Joe Schmo off the street. And in all realness, okay, then you better start pardoning a lot of people. You better start pardoning a lot of people with a lot less lot less severe crimes. I mean, or I can imagine that there should be a protest for that or uproar for that. I don't know how it would wind up, but that would seem really unfair. And as it relates to Trump's pardoning, I don't think Trump needs it. I think he's gonna pardon himself. I think if it ain't gonna pardon himself.
He's standing on it though. He said,
you know what I'm saying?
He basically recently said, like, if I'm gonna go to jail.
First of all, that 70-year-old man can't go to jail. Like, first of all, even if he did go to jail, it would be like a goddamn country club. I'm sure. Like, he'd be in there with So.
Oh yes, he would be fine.
Yeah,
he'd be
like
fine.
Martha Stewart type of prison.
Oh,
right.
Like, he'd be just fine. It's prison
he's gonna be in there with
County,
Bubba, like sharing his fucking grilled cheese.
Right.
Like he ain't gonna.
Yeah. Right. He ain't gonna have to share nothing. He's gonna have his own suite in the private area of the prison.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this up. All right, Joe, what's your final thoughts?
I think that this is not going to slow down the Trump train at all. I think that Trump is inevitable. I mean, might as well call that man Thanos at this point, because that boy looking inevitable right now. Like, the Trump president is coming, bro. Like, and I think that there's so much corruption in American politics that people are just going to be like, I still like him. Most of these politicians are corrupt. He's honest. Maybe he got caught up in something. You know what I mean? I think people are just going to overlook it to be like, we don't care. This is our president. There's nothing they can do. So Trump, there's no delay to the Trump train.
What do you think,
That's
Heather?
my final thought.
Felt that. Same. I piggyback everything Joe said. I think our next president's going to be a convicted felon, and it's going to open lots of doors for lots of people. Lots of changes going to start happening. Dreamers going to start dreaming again. It's going to be a great day for America.
I mean, it's not going to surprise anybody, but I mean, I'm on board with Joe and Heather. This shit ain't going to change nothing. If anything, it's helping them, because everybody's like, when he says fake news,
right.
And he says, deep state, which I always thought was absolute nonsense. When he used to say deep state when he was president, I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you talking like it's like there's some kind of like secret society out there, like, against Trump. Like, motherfucker, no, if there was a secret society, you'd be a part of it. Like, what are you talking about? It's like it would benefit you. You are one of the most powerful people in the whole world. So like, that didn't make sense to me. Like, you just not getting what you want in the media, so you throwing a hissy fit about it. But anyway, I mean, this gives credence to this whole like deep state. Fake news and all that shit. So now this is just gonna make him once he wins the presidency, this is gonna make him more cocky in these interviews. When they ask him a crazy question like, "Oh well, why do you think Americans voted for a convicted felon?" He gonna be like, "Fake news." He gonna be like, "Interview over." I don't even know. Like, he gonna be like,
right.
So
right. Pretty much.
I mean, listen.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah, we don't even have to answer those questions.
It's over,
we spoke, like, Why we gotta answer that? Why do I think? Ask them. Like,
well, listen, man,
it's crazy. It is. I'm happy for it. I'm happy where we're at. I believe Trump's still gonna be our president.
Me and Heather say Trump 2024. Joe, I don't know.
It.
Joe was voting. He's voting Heather in the box so far.
Right. Remember that? Yeah, that's right. I'm still open. I'll free up my schedule. Right. We can make it slide.
All right, y'all, like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what y'all think. Definitely comment. We could go at it. Joe's the point man on the comments. He love it. He let us smoke. I'm a little bit more sensitive, so
break it.
All right, till next time.
The sense.
All right, y'all.